By the end of this video, you're going to have your very own client converting life coaching website using Card, a simple drag and drop one-page website builder that's not going to break the bank. This is a full walkthrough tutorial, so grab a cup of coffee, go at your own pace while you watch and complete each step. Follow along with me, and by the time we're done, you'll have a website that's ready to put into action. The concept behind this site is built around a time-based coaching offer. The one that I use here on this site happens to be a 3-week self-mastery program for women done over Zoom. You can literally use this same exact layout for whatever you do offer. You know, if you just have books or courses or retreats, just swap out my offer for yours as we go. The top link in my video description below will take you to this page, which is the starting point for us creating our website. If you use that link, I appreciate you because it is an affiliate link. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down and select the blank page starting point. And it's going to instantly take us to the editor where we're going to build out the site. Now, I have a hack. If you want to skip like most of this building process, then the second link in my video description below will take you through a process to where you can literally just download this whole thing in your dashboard and you'll have complete control over every single thing. All you'll have to do is just edit, just swap everything out. You can change this navigation bar, the logo, the text, the images, the video, I mean, everything. So if you want that, just click that second link. It'll take you to this page here. This message will pop up if you don't already have an account, which I'm assuming you don't. It's just telling you that to have that template, you need the Pro plan. You just click the Learn More button. You go to this page here. The Pro standard plan is $19 a year, which is amazing. You'll need the Pro plan regardless of if you just want to download the template or build it out. But if you're building out and you want to just try it out for 7 days, you can do the 7-day free trial. I'll make a video right after this one that goes through the process of seeing this template in your dashboard and changing everything. For now, I'm going to go back to the website builder and let's start building this out. As you can see, as my mouse comes over to the page, it highlights, and inside of it, we have some text elements that also highlight. We're going to go ahead and get rid of those by clicking on them and going right over to this trash icon, and now we're left with the page. If you click on it, you can style this any way you want, but obviously we're making a very specific website, so we're going to go to the wide box, and then under position we're going to select top, so it goes all the way up to the top, and then for the width we're just going to max this all the way out. Then we're going to go ahead and change the color, so if we scroll all the way down to background, you'll see it's on color, and you can make it a gradient if you want, but we're gonna just go here and you can select any color, change the opacity. I already know the color that I want, so I'm just gonna paste the color code in there like that and press done. So we got that. We're gonna make this logo and navigation bar. So we're gonna click on the page, have it highlighted, and then go over to this add an element plus icon, and we're going to come down to add a container. This is where we put our elements in to actually create each section of our site. Under type, we're going to select columns. As you see right here, we have a logo on this side and then the navigation links on the right side. So we want columns, and on under columns, we're going to select the left drop down button, and for the width, we're just going to put it at 30%, and it'll automatically update the right one. So we'll go ahead and press done so you can see what this looks like. So we're going to press the container again and go ahead to this plus button and add an image, and that way the image will actually just pop right into the container. If you don't have the container selected and you try to add an element, it's going to automatically put it at the bottom of the site. So like, let's just do it again. See how it puts it down here? We don't want that to happen, so you have to try to click on the container you want things in. On image, I'm going to upload the logo. If you don't have a logo, I would just go to Canva. I think I just created this on Canva. It was really really easy. If you want a tutorial video on that, I'll probably make one eventually, but let me know in the comments so I can make one faster. Or there's tons of videos on YouTube that show you how to do that. So I selected my little crop tool and have the image how I want it. I'm gonna press accept. And if you press done, you can see it right here. Now, when I click on this image, this little panel's in the way. On the panel, there are these little arrows you can click to make the panel go to the other side if it's in the way. Now, sometimes things are still in the way because this little toolbar will be in the way, but that's the one thing I do wish Card will update eventually. If we go over to the appearance icon, which is a little paintbrush, we can play with the size of the logo. I mean, you can make it really as big as you want. Obviously, we're not going to do that. So let me just undo that. This is a little too big. So I'm going to make this the width at like 11, and then the height, we're going to bring it down to where we can see the whole logo. Next, we're going to add the navigation bar. Again, click on the container, and I'll flip this back just so we have that container clicked. We're going to press the plus button, and we're going to click on links. Now, it added it to this column. All you need to do is drag it and drop it into the column you want it to be. And again, we will center this a bit more, like the link section. Click on the link box. We're going to use this little drop down window, and under label, we're going to have our first tab. And for us to lay out the navigation path so that when somebody clicks on about, it actually scrolls down to that section. Under URL, we're going to delete what's in there, and then we're going to use the hashtag sign and just put about, all lowercase. Just go ahead and go back to the top of this little arrow, and then we're going to add another link. Under label, I have self-mastery coaching. Obviously, you can put in whatever your products are. And then remember, right under URL, we're going to delete the URL that was in there and put a hashtag and name it whatever the label was. No spaces, and just make it all lowercase. And we're going to add another one. On my site, I've got a transformation tab. But if you don't want to have this, you can change it. So again, hashtag and transformation with no space in between the hashtag. Now I'm going to add the other two links. Okay, so we've added all of them. Click on the paintbrush, and under style, select plain. If you want these constantly highlighted, underlined, you can leave that. I just wanted it to be plain on the page, and then once someone hovers and clicks on whatever section they want to go to, then it underlines. You can change the color of the links. I'm just going to go ahead and paste in the color that I already want them to be. Under font, I'm going to go ahead and select the one that I want. There's tons to choose from. This one is called Fig Tree. So select Fig Tree right there. We can make the size a little bit bigger. Also, what we're going to do is come down and go to spacing, and we're going to space the words out a bit. As you can see, like there's more space kind of coming out so that they're not all close together. And I'm actually sorry, I made a mistake. This font is not Fig Tree. This one was Arboreto. Hope I'm saying that right. I'm going to try to adjust this to where I can make the size of the text a little bit bigger. I'm going to click on the container, and on the width side, I'm going to make this, put this over here. Let's see if that lets me adjust the size a little bit more for the links. Okay, it does. Now we're going to kind of shorten this container here. So on the brush icon under padding on vertical, I'm just going to kind of shorten it. Let me see what this looks like. I'm also going to have the links try to come down in the center a little bit more of this container. So I'm going to have the container selected, and I'm going to scroll down to where it says contents, and I'm going to center. See how it came down just a little bit more? If you want to play with the size again of the logo, you can. In fact, I think I will make it just slightly slightly bigger like that. Now we're going to make our hero like banner style. So we're going to click this container and then add another one right under it. So we're going to go to the second container, we're going to click on it, and we're going to go ahead and make this a lot larger under the padding section. And we're actually going to scroll down to where it says background, and we're going to select an image. I'm going to press upload, and I'm going to go ahead and select the image that I have here. If you have your own pictures, obviously I would use those. I used an AI tool for this, and I'm actually going to probably do it like right here, just so we have more space here for the text that's going to go here. I'm going to press accept. We're also going to increase the width to full bleed. You could also play with the height to actually make it larger. I'm going to just adjust this. Okay, so we'll leave it like that. We're also going to click the container, and we're going to make this under type columns. So as you can see right here, we have this empty space, and then you kind of can't see it, but it also says empty right here. We're going to make the left column a spacer. We're not going to have anything here. We're just going to have text here. So as this container is highlighted, we're going to go ahead and add 2. Actually, did not see how it did not actually go into that container. I'm going to drag this up, and we can actually just make a copy of this text link here. And then the last element we need inside, and I'm going to make sure this is selected, is a button. Click on the text and you go ahead and put in whatever text you want here. I'm going to edit the button here in a second. I'm going to go ahead and fix the alignment really quick on the container. We're going to click on it and then go to the right column, and under alignment we're going to press center. So that's a little bit better. We'll be able to edit this a little bit better too. So now I just want to go back and edit this text here. First off, this top one is a white color. Have the size a bit bigger here. And then this is a different font. It is the Fig Tree font. That's also a white color. Let's see if I can scooch this over. I'm clicking on the container, going under appearance, and I'm gonna try to, let's see, zero that out, then kind of move this over just a little bit. So just to be clear, I went to the container settings and played with the horizontal padding, and then I zeroed out the gutters, which sometimes you just have to just literally put 0 in there. For the button, I'm just gonna click on it and click this little drop down arrow, and on the label you can put whatever text you want there. If you don't want a button, you don't have to even have it, so you can skip this part. But if you have, like if this is going to link to a course you have or something like that, you can put it in the URL right now, like the link to it. I'm just going to have this scroll down to the about section. So for URL, I'm just going to put #about. So when they click on this button, it'll scroll down to the same scroll point as when somebody clicks on the about tab. On the appearance of the button, we can change the color, which I'm going to do right now. I'm going to change the font to Fig Tree, up the size of the font, and we can also make the button width longer. I'll just have it like that. You can mess with the height. I'm also going to have some corner rounding to where the sides aren't so squared, or the corners aren't so squared of the button. So I'll leave it like that. On the color section for the button, you'll see this hover option where, like, if somebody's mouse goes over it, it can switch to a different color. I am gonna set that. You can kind of test it as you're changing the color. All right. So that's the hero, they call this a hero style banner section. Okay, I'm putting this clip in here. You may think like, oh, what's happening? I forgot to say something pretty while you're like on your page here, what I want you to do is scroll all the way down and you'll see this mobile setting right here. You can set it to manual, okay? And what you want to do is as you're making your site, if you go to this little toolbar up here, you'll see where it says switch to mobile view. So when you do that, it shows you what your site looks like as is. The thing is, your desktop version will look a certain way, but it may not look the best as is on the mobile site. So you can just make sure it, like on each element you add, to make sure that is selected. So like on the links tab, make sure that it's set to manual. Just everything you add here, make sure that everything is set to manual so you have full control of the mobile editor. See, so now you can kind of adjust it here. You can have it a little bit bigger. And because this clip is kind of cut in with the tutorial, you may be kind of confused, but I just wanted to make sure that I add. So sorry for this interruption. It's now back to the main tutorial. Now we're going to actually build out our about section. So click on the container and go to the plus icon, and we're going to add a control. So this is actually us starting to link the navigation. As it's highlighted under type, we're going to make this a scroll point. I'll make another video on section break feature. For name, we're just going to put about. As you can see to the left of what we typed in, we have this little hashtag symbol. Again, this is now going to match what we put here on the about tab. If I click on it and just go to the about section here, under URL, we have hashtag about. Under name on this control, we have hashtag about. So since these match, when somebody clicks on about, it'll scroll down to the section. Under the control, we're going to add another container. We're going to scroll down, and this will be actually none. So it's just going to sit on the page background color. So you can also make this a color if you want. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to have none for now because I want it to be the same color as the page. We're going to go ahead and switch the type from default to columns. I believe I have this on just 50%, like 50-50 for each side. Click on the container and let's add a video. That's going to add right there. And then while we're at it, we might as well just go ahead and add the other things that we need, which is some text. Okay, for the video, to make this as simple as possible, I'm just going to embed a YouTube video. So click on it, and you can actually upload a video. So if you just have a video on your computer, you can just upload it that way. You can embed a video from a site. And so all we have to do is grab the video URL to insert it. So the little video that I had on here, obviously you're going to have a different video. It's one of my recent YouTube videos, and we just paste that URL inside, and you can't see it now, but when we publish or when we save to go view it, you'll be able to see it there. I'm going to click on it again, and I'm going to increase the size of it. I'm going to go ahead and just add the text that I want here and change the color. Okay, I have the text in here. I'm going to align the right hand side to have the text look like this. I'll try to bring all of this up a bit. So I'm going to click on the container, and then I believe should be, let's see, the vertical padding. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, so we'll bring the vertical padding. You can put it where you want. I'm just going to make it right there for now. Also going to add a button under this video. And I forgot some text to add, so let me go back down here and add that. We can make this video a little bit bigger. Center this button by clicking on it and press center. I'm kind of used to working with the editor, sometimes blocking it, but again, you can click the little arrows if you need to see what you're doing. Let's make this video a bit bigger. Okay, so I'm playing with the gutter section or setting when I click on the container just to kind of align this button a little bit more and kind of give a little bit of space between the video and the text. Can also help this is if I just go ahead and label the button. So again, you click on the button, go to the first tab, and under label, that's where you put the name of it. As you can see, you can't see all of the wording here. So on the width, I'm going to go ahead and make that longer. Even gonna make the height a little bit longer. Let me flip this so you could see. And on this style actually of this button, I actually do want it not to just be the label only. I do want an icon. So there's a checkbox right now, but what I'm gonna actually do is go back to this tab here. I know it might seem like we're going back and forth a lot. Then we're gonna go under icon, under the label of the button, and you scroll down. I mean, they have every site, it seems like, that you can have like their icons on your buttons. I'm gonna go down to a TidyCal icon. I'm the one I want. So as you see, it actually changes to the TidyCal link because this will go to booking link or booking page. Okay, so I just kind of played with the settings a little bit, but you kind of get the idea. You can make yours like perfect. Also make sure on the video settings that you do have a little bit of corner rounding. That's if you want it to look a little bit like this on the page. If you don't want it and you're okay with the corners being squared off, then you could just leave that off. I kind of want to look at this and view this site before moving on. So what we're going to do is come up here to the top where it says publish this site, and we're going to click on it. And for you, if you haven't created an account, you'll get at the top here a little small account creation little tab, and then you'll be able to scroll down and get to this. Go ahead and title your site. Now I'm just kind of going through and titling it really shortly and doing the description, you know, like super short. And you actually want to start using the site and making it go live and sending it to people and stuff. Probably want to have a better description in here, especially if you're wanting it to maybe get ranked or get picked up by the search engines. And then you can have a .car.co URL, it's free. Or if you have an actual domain name, you can link that. If you have this selected, you just go through the instructions here to link that. To get the pro level to, I believe, have custom domain names. I'm just gonna use a card URL, so I'm just gonna have Marnie Clark, okay, .card.co. So it's available. I'm gonna press publish. Go ahead and view the site. It'll open a different tab so you can see it, and you can see it there. Now I'm gonna go back right here and press OK. There's some things I forgot to do. So on the video, click on it and go to video element. I want your video to autoplay. We're gonna come down to where it says options and then just select autoplay. Then we're gonna press done, and we can publish and press OK. Or you could press view site, or you can view your site with this little icon here, this little pop-out window icon. And the video should start playing right away. I had this video here so that, if you're a life coach, it'd probably be pretty wise to have some sort of video introducing yourself or, talking about the product that they're gonna see that you want them to get. If you don't want a video, you don't have to have a video. You could just have another image or something like that. I just think that to get even better conversions for whatever you're selling, a video would be better for conversions. We're gonna add our next section. We're gonna click on the container and add a control. Under type, we're gonna make it a scroll point with no spaces. Just gonna name it Self Mastery Coaching, which is the link. And let me actually double check and make sure that's going to be. So URL is linked hashtag Self Mastery Coaching. And if we scroll down, this is hashtag Self Mastery Coaching for the control. For this control, we're going to add a little container. Now this is super optional here. What I am going to be doing, I'm literally just going to put a little kind of like state break line and add a divider. So it's just a line, and I'm just going to make this a pink little line here. I'm going to press on the container and bring the height way down because it's just a simple line. So we don't need this huge container right there. If there's a way I can make this even, yeah, I can make this even shorter. We'll do it like that under the vertical padding settings on the container. Next little part here is going to be directly on the page. So all we actually have to do is click on divider, divider container, and then go ahead and add your elements that you need, which in this case will be 2 text links and an icon. So we added one text here, and as you can see, this panel's blocking it. Like I said, I do wish that they could fix that, or we could at least drag the panels anywhere we want. And then we're gonna add a icon, and we'll change that here in a second. Let's center this. So we're gonna go ahead and go to the text. And in fact, I should have done this first before copying. We're gonna go to alignment, and we're gonna press center. And we're gonna do the same thing for the other ones. Now I'm just gonna change the text and change the icon, and I'm gonna kind of speed this up, but you'll be able to see what I'm doing. To change the icon, once you click on it, you're just gonna come right over to the icon element tab, and you'll be able to choose your icon. For me, I'm just gonna make it an arrow. It's this little chevron arrow. And we're gonna go to the appearance tab. We can make it a bit bigger. We can go ahead and change the color of the icon and make this text a bit bigger. You can also play with the boldness of certain fonts. And you kind of scroll up under the font settings on whatever text you have. You can play with the weight. So as you can see, that's kind of changing. All right, so now we're going to go on to the next section, which is building out this container. I'm going to click the icon, and let me go ahead and flip this panel over. I'm just kind of more used to it being on this side. And then we're going to press the plus icon and add a container. For this container, we are going to have the background a different color just to kind of make certain, just trying to make the site look a little bit better and make what's about this offer kind of stand out. We're going to go to background and make it a color. And I'm going to go ahead and paste the color that I already want. We're going to come back up, and for the height, we're going to make this a bit larger. Whoops. So I'm going to go ahead and increase this to, I think it's 37. I do see actually on the original site, I have a different arrow here. I'm just going to leave this one. You can change it to the one that I had though. So now we have this container here, and it's empty. We're going to go ahead and click on it and add a gallery. Okay, and we're going to flip this over. As you can see, this kind of gets added. We need 3 pictures here. So I'm going to go ahead and add them. I'm going to press add just like that. And I'm just going to go ahead, because it's kind of getting on my nerves. I'm just going to go ahead and center this already. Great. Go ahead and add the pictures that we want in here. Again, I created this on Canva. Really easy to do. You just make a little project on Canva, and what I actually did was, let me go ahead and make this. I think this is how I had it. I'm gonna go ahead and go to this crop tool and click it until the crop tool goes away, because I want the whole image to be in there. Or you can just drag the crop tool, to each corner. To do that, do it like that as well. So we're gonna have that in there. Now we're gonna go to the second one. Sorry, so I went to Canva, created a little project, set the size of the Canva product. I think you want to do, I think like 300 by 300 pixels, and just created these little things. I grabbed what's really great is the color codes. Let me just go over this really quick. So like the color codes on card are the same on Canva. So you can come down just to have everything flow right. So like you just can grab the color of your page background and literally put these same color codes in Canva so everything can flow together right. I go back to the gallery and finish adding the pictures. So we got those in here. Go to appearance. We're gonna go to images real quick, and we will have some corner rounding. So I just kind of did the first little thing right here. This, I'll zoom in. That's what it's set to. Can make them bigger, make the images bigger. I also want the gallery to kind of come down a bit. So I'm actually gonna click on the container, and under contents, we'll just center this. Back to the gallery to continue playing with the size. I don't know how big I kind of want them to be. On the under appearance, under gallery, I believe we can play with the spacing here of each container. I do want some spacing to be there, just a little bit. Let me see how that kind of looks. What we'll do is go ahead and save again. Make sure you kind of get in the habit of saving, just so you can kind of look at how the site actually works. I mean, how it looks. Also, you can test the links. So if we click about, it scrolls down to this section. We click self-mastery, it goes ahead and scrolls to this. So you can check all of that. So far it looks pretty good to me. So I'm gonna go back and continue building out this section. Now we're gonna add this bit of text here. I'm gonna click on gallery, and we're going to add a text element. It's not centered, it went all the way to the left here. Let's go ahead and center it just so we can see what we're doing. So we got it in there. We're gonna go back to the place where we actually paste our text. So now we have this right under the gallery, but kind of want to play with the size here, and I'm going to come down. Actually, I'm going to click on the gallery because I want there to be some space in between, or some more space in between the gallery and this text. So let me go ahead and click on gallery and go under margins and just make this come down a little bit. And I'm going to play with the size of this here, the text size. And so I like that. Want another container right under this one. So you're gonna click on this container and then have another container right below it. And I want this to look seamless. So there's this little gap in between the containers. The one we just added, you're gonna, under appearance, we're gonna go to the margin section, and right next to top, we're just going to zero it out. So just literally enter 0 and click, anywhere, and it'll make this seamless now. As you can see, there's no separation. We're gonna make this container into 2 columns. There's gonna be a image on this one, and then we can click on here again just to make sure it's gonna get added, and a list. Okay, it got it brought over to this column, but we're just going to drag and drop it here. As you can see, I have an image here and this list right here, kind of going over the details, some more details of the offer. And this, by the way, this is not a real offer. Like, I don't actually have this. This is just something when I went in to make this site, I was thinking about, well, what could somebody have for, an offer? And this is kind of just what I thought of. I put this image here. Let me try to select as much as I can of this. Let's see. Let me flip this so I can see what I'm doing. And let's play with the width. Let's Play with the height here. That's great. I think I can actually add this whole, let's see, whole picture. Let's see what it does. Yeah, okay, that's better. So I can make it bigger if I want. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and grab this text from the list section. Now we're going to put the list here. So we're gonna click on it, and I don't know why the text isn't popping up. Let's see what happened here. Okay, the text somehow was the same color as the background. So we'll just scroll over to text and change that. On list, I already have these little icons here. I don't want these bullets here. So I'm gonna go over to icons. You can't get rid of the icon. So I just changed the color of the dots to the same color as my background. So for the color, I'm just gonna go ahead and paste that in there. So what I'm doing now is I'm just gonna adjust kind of how this is all kind of flowing, and I'm gonna change some of the spacing. I'm gonna speed it up, but you'll be able to slow it down and kind of see what I'm doing here. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the next container. Click the bottom of this container, and then we're going to add another one. And I'm going to go in and change the background color. Now this one is a bit different than the page background. As you can see, there's the page background, and then this one is a little bit darker. I'm going to go ahead and speed through this part. Okay, so I'm liking how this looks here, and so now we need to add another container that has the same color background, which it should already just automatically be added. And we're making this part here, which is we have to make it go ahead and switch it to make it split into 3 columns. So all you need to do is just press add. And as you can see, it added another column here. And so now what I'm going to do is add all of the text that we need for this section. We need 6 text elements in total. So I'm going to go ahead and add those. Before I do, because these all need to be the same, let me go ahead and at least change the font so I don't have to change them on every single one. And on the top text elements, these are bolded. So I'm going to go ahead and just, first I'm going to copy this one, and then on the first one, I'm going to have the weight set to bold. Now I'll copy this one 2 more times, drag it over. Okay, so just so you can see, I did create these, and then on the container, I just lowered the height like all the way down to where it's kind of a smaller container, because right under it, we need a button that's going to go in its own separate container. The reason why we have to make it in its own separate container is because this last container was split into 3 columns, so we can't just add something on it. So we have to make that next one. And we're going to add a button. I'm going to center it because we can't see it. It's going to go right there. So now we will edit this button under label. We'll add the text and then edit the button. Make this a little bit longer. height a bit bigger. We'll have this with an icon, and it's going to be the TidyCal icon. So we're going to go back and so I decided to kind of show this really quick because I said that these buttons would be linked to like a Zoom call or something like that. But first you have to link it to like a booking page, and the one that you could use is called TidyCal. Like if you have Calendly, you can just use that too. But if you don't know how to do it, we're going to go ahead and create a booking. So just go to TidyCal and sign up. It's, I believe it's like $50, like lifetime or per year. Forgot which one it is, but it's pretty great. So you can just go ahead and create a booking. I'm just going to put, so you can just title it. You can make your description. I'm just trying to do this really fast just to show you what to do. You can set your duration for however long you want it to be. Let's just say it's going to be a 30-minute, discovery call just to see if the offer would be right for them. If you don't want to do this and you just want to have this go to a book or to a course, obviously then you would just, link your buttons to that. For the locations, you could use these options. You can also add a custom option. Let's just say it's going to be Zoom. Okay, we're just going to have this like that. You can have all these other options as well. You can charge for this if you want or not, but obviously we're going to have ours free. You can set up a questionnaire for your attendees. Some things that you can just have them answer before booking. Let them have an email confirmation. We'll turn that on. You can put the message in here that you have for them to get. And you just go through all of this to set it up. Once you're done with all of this, I'm not going to go through all of it. Just press create booking. And then you have this link. So we're just going to copy this. And what we would do is go to the button. Under URL, we would just take that out that's already in there and then paste the booking. So let's just check to see how it looks. You scroll down. Once you do that, it takes you to the booking. You hopefully have it set the way you want it to, and then they could just go through book and you'll get a notification on that. So just wanted to show that really quick. We're going to start creating our transformation section. So you see on the top, this is the next one here. So at the bottom, we're going to have this container clicked and add a control. We're going to make this a scroll point type, and then we're going to name it. So now this button or this tab will be linked to this section. Once we build it out, we're going to add a container and 3 text elements inside of it. I'm just going to copy everything over. If you are trying to, let me just show you an example real quick. If you're trying to make a certain text on one line, but you want the size to be bigger, and you're like, why is the text breaking into 2 separate lines? That's because as the text element is clicked and you scroll down and under indent, if the width is not on the max setting, it'll do that. So sometimes you have to kind of remember to check that. That's just in case, you're editing text and you were like, I kind of just thought of this because I was struggling with this, when I was first, going on and learning how to use Card. I was like, why is it that I have the page set to a wide box, but my text won't go all the way, as far as I want it to? It's because the text width setting itself, despite whatever you have the container set to, is not maxed out. Now we're going to add another container. If you need to take a break at any time, then I encourage you to do that and come back. We're making this section, so this particular container will be split into columns, 50-50 each, and we need text elements, an image, and a list element. So I'm going to go ahead and speed through this to do that. That looked kind of confusing. All I did was I clicked on this image and copied it, and so it kind of made the page go out of whack, but I just dragged that second image to this column here. If you're adding your picture and it keeps coming to the left-hand side, and you clicked on the image and you went to the position and tried to change it, it didn't move, you could go down to the alignment section and just press center, or you can do that going to the actual container settings and going to the left hand column and aligning it there as well. Kind of live with that. We'll make this space just a little bit bigger here, so a little bigger, kind of breathe a little bit more separation between these two containers. Obviously, if you want to change this to a different color, that would probably be good. In fact, it could be just this nice little pink color, just so that these containers aren't the exact same. So you can go ahead and do that. I've already done all of this work, so I would have to change the color of the background of the container and then also change the color of all the text. You can do that if you want to see if it looks better to you. We're going to add our testimonials section. We're just going to go ahead and add another control, name it, or have it be a scroll point, and then name it testimonials, just like that. So this should be linked to the top of this. Add a container. We're going to make sure it's kind of seamless. Here, let me see here. Go ahead and add in our text here. And we're going to change the color of the background of this container. To add another container, because this is only of the default mode. We need to add 3 columns here for this container because we have the testimonials. We're going to zero out the top margin for the second little container here so that's seamless. Go to the second container, click on it, make it into columns. And we're going to go ahead and add another one, just like that. We need 3 images and 6 text elements. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. Okay, so really quick, I don't know if you saw what I did, but I went ahead and when I was adding this text here, it's kind of like mock text. At the very top of the appearance, you'll see this little window that is to where you can add styles. I added a style and named it testimonials and set one column or one text exactly how I wanted it. And then when I added these other texts, when I added them, I clicked on them and then came to this little drop down window and clicked on style that I added. All of these can match And if I make an adjustment to one, it'll affect all of them. I did that as well to the names down here. Now I'm going to add the images, and I'm going to do the same thing. Now to add the images, I'll show you kind of how to do this really quick. So, which we've already been adding images, but there's a certain way I wanted the pictures to look on here. And I'm gonna go ahead and add the first one just so I can show you. Make sure you put the whole picture in, and then as you can see, it's like a rectangle shape. We're going to go to appearance, and then under shape, we're gonna make it a circle. And then you can play with the size of it and all of that. Let's just make it like that. The reason why I did that first is because when I first started doing this, I would add the image elements and then already set them to circle. But for some reason, when you add the image in there, it doesn't have I don't like the way the picture looks. The way the framing of it is kind of bad. So you have to kind of like add the picture while the text element is squared or rectangled, and then change it to circle. I'm gonna go ahead and show you the styling tool. So this is how I want all of these, the next pictures to look. So let's try this. I'm gonna go to appearance on it, and I'm going to, right now it has no style, so I'm gonna add a style. I'm gonna name it, I'm just gonna say pics. So now that's added. So it should work where now when I upload the next ones, we're gonna make sure the whole picture's in. It's added, but when I come over here to appearance and select pics, it'll change it to the exact same way this one's styled. So that's a cool little tip. You're seeing how this kind of works in action. Go ahead and do the same thing. Testimonials. We're gonna make the whole picture go inside. And again, I use these pictures, or I had these pictures made through a tool called a Midjourney. It would be best, obviously, if you have your own testimonials, to put them on there. If you don't have testimonials, you don't have to put them on there. You can put something else. But I just wanted to kind of show you what you can do with this. Okay, so I just kind of added a little bit of height to this container a little bit, and now we're going to be on to the contact or connect section. We're almost done with this site. Stay through to the end of this. I mean, you are awesome, and if you're going along and building this out, it may take a little bit of time to kind of get used to, but as you're using Card, you'll get more and more used to like how everything is laid out and adding elements and things like that. We're going to name this control. We're going to have it be set to a scroll point, and then we're just going to put contact. Again, that matches what we have at the top. We've got 3 text elements, and I believe this is just right on the page, so we actually don't even have to put this in a container. So I'm going to go ahead and add, we're going to go ahead and center this though. I did something for all the elements to be added to the left side. I don't know what I did though. Now I'm trying to change just this text color that I just added, and you saw me do that, and all of a sudden all of this changed. This is why sometimes I don't like to mess with the styling things. So what you have to make sure is when you're adding some text that you don't want to match something else, if it's on a style, you're going to click on it and make sure under the styling little drop down here, it's selected to no styling. Now I have to go back and change these really quick. So all I got to do is just press testimonials. Got to change the colors again. And there you go. So now that I'm back on this, hope that didn't make too much, that didn't confuse you too much. Automatically, like once you have styles here, when you add new elements on your page, for some reason, it'll just automatically link them to a style. So you have to make sure it's selected to none. See how I'm wanting this Let's Connect header to be bigger, but it's not, it's kind of going to a separate line. Remember when I said you have to make sure that the width is maxed out or just at a larger space, so you can adjust the size. This is kind of what I was talking about. Connect. You see on the original, I have this little contact form, and that's a part of that Pro standard plan. If you do the Pro Lite, I don't believe you'll be able to use forms. And to be honest, I'm actually gonna change this instead of saying Let's Connect, because the name of this section is our contact tab. So instead of, I mean, you could have Let's Connect, but I'm just gonna change this actually to Contact Me or Contact Form. Let's see. We're gonna click on the text element, the last text element. We're gonna go to the plus icon and we're going to select Form. It comes in there, obviously automatically to the left. I don't know why that happens like that. Go ahead and center this. So under type, you'll be able to see how you can have different forms. You can have a opt-in form, a sign-up form, or you can have a custom form, you know, to ask questions, or, you know, you could play around with that if you want. Recipient email, just go ahead and add your email that you want the messages to be sent to. So once they fill this out and press submit, it'll get sent there. Completion is what you want the page to do after they press submit. So you can have it redirect to another URL, which could lead them, you know, to maybe, you know, some other capture page or something like that. Or you can run some type of code, or you can have it do nothing. I like for it to display a message, so at least they know, okay, it went through. So you can make your message right here on what you want it to say after they press submit. I'm gonna leave it right here as thank you, or you can put it like, you can say I'll get back to you within 24 hours or whatever your message is there. I'm not gonna go over these options. This will be maybe for a different video. To go over really quickly, on this tab under fields, you have the name fields, email, and I believe you can edit these. You can have the message. If you want them to have a company name, or if you want them to add a phone number or a subject, you know, subject field, you can have that. Have this require consent, except the above information will be used to contact me. And actually, I probably would have that on there. Let's see here. For the button, you just click over to this next tab here, and you can name the button, obviously have it as submit, or change it to whatever you want it to here. You could even have this be some kind of payment form, obviously not for this example, but I'm just letting you know what's here. You can play with the, you know, the settings for how the actual form looks. I'll actually make it a little bit longer like that. Play with the spacing. Fields, you can control the color of the font. I believe you should be able to even, yeah, you can even change the font entirely. You can have the corner rounding, or if you want it to be just squared off, you can have that. For the text area, you can make this larger, which I will. I'll make it just like a little bit because it actually looks like a message. And for the inputs, you can do the same thing. I'm going to just have that like that. Thickness of the lines or the outline, you can make it thicker if you want. I'll just have it, yeah, I'll just have it like maybe at 2. Now to the last section here, which is the little footer that I've got. Just click on this form. We're gonna add a control and make this the footer marker. I'm going to add a container, the color I want it to be, split it into 2 columns. I believe I have, let's say, the left column at 30%. Let's see. We'll start with that. Let's see how that works. And then, so for the left side, I have just some social media icons that people can click on to this on. I added them, but you can't see them because they're the same color. So let me go ahead and change the color to white. You can have it the same color as the page, just kind of on the icon setting right here. You can now select which icons you want. Just going to go ahead and add like Facebook. We have Facebook. What you do on the URL is you would go to your Facebook profile or your Facebook page, grab that URL and then paste it here and it'll link there. And then I selected that little little arrow there. We're gonna add another one. Add Instagram, and let me flip this so you can see it's being added right here. Same thing, you just grab your Instagram URL and paste it there. Add another one, and let's say you want to add TikTok. And grab your TikTok URL and paste it right there. Last one we'll add is YouTube. Come here and play with the size. They'll all kind of go down to one area. I'll just make it just kind of like that. I actually do have a text element on here. Go ahead and go to the appearance just to make sure. Okay, yeah, I see here. I wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to be on any kind of styling. Again, I don't want it to do that on this particular point because I don't want to change anything else on the site. On the other side of this container, I literally just have icon, like an arrow. Okay, this is looking weird, so I know what I did wrong. So we're gonna go to the container, and instead of it only being 2 columns, we're actually gonna add a third one. You can see we have this third one here, but this third one, sorry, I flipped the settings over again over here, sorry about that. We're just gonna select use as spacer, so there's nothing here. So that way this arrow is a lot more centered in the middle of the page. There we go. So it's a quick fix. The text, just back to the top. So if they just click this, it can take them all the way back up to the top of the page. Let's make it a little bigger. Publish, just to kind of check it out. So we have our contact form. If you want, you can make this come down a little bit more just so the site kind of breathes a little bit. Let me try to bring this down a little bit here. Make it just breathe just a tad. So what you want to do at this point is go through and connect any of the buttons to what you need to connect them to. I showed you the example of how we linked the calendar or the TinyCal booking page. This button, if you want to link that same URL to the other buttons, you could just do that here, or if you want to link them somewhere else, you can. Be sure to, on your final publish, to title, if you need to have a better title here, to do so, to make a better description if you're wanting to try to get picked up by the search engines. Again, if you want to make sure you're going to publish to a domain name that you actually have, like from GoDaddy or something like that, then make sure you do that. Make sure you kind of double check, everything, just so you can always know how to get to your site. Just let's say you log out, you get out of the site, and then you want to go back, get to your dashboard, and you'll see your site here. You'll be able to view it. You'll be able to manage the site in other ways. If you want to edit the site, you just come right here, this little pen or pencil icon, and press edit, and you'll go right back into the builder. If you have any questions or concerns, let me know in the comments. Also, I'll leave my email address there to where, if something's going on with you creating the site and you need a little bit of help, you can email me and I can help you there. And once again, if you don't want to really build all of this out, by this point, if you watch this whole video, it's a little bit too late, but let's just say, I don't know, it's running into some kind of issue that I didn't cover in the video, you can just literally download this template using the second link in my video description below. If you use any of the links in my video description below to get card and to use it, I really appreciate you. Make sure to like and subscribe and let me know how you like this video.